Welcome back. Thom Hartmann here with you. On the line with us, my old nemesis, Julio Rivera, the editorial director of Reactionary Times, columnist with Newsmax, Right-Wing News, and Politichicks. And reactionarytimes.com is the website. You can tweet him at OHYEAH. It's ITS Julio, Julio. And Julio, welcome back to the program.
Well, I'm really happy to be on. Actually, this is a familiar voice. I've actually spent about the last 10 days here in Puerto Rico over by family where we haven't had much electricity. It's really gone overnight from pretty much a second world to a third world country here. So.
Well, this is my question for you, Julio. I mean, you know, you and I usually are on here yelling at each other about politics, and we may end up doing that today. I have no idea. But it seems to me that Donald Trump doesn't give a rat's ass about Puerto Rico because most Puerto Ricans speak Spanish and have dark skin. What are you going to do about that?
Wow! Wow! That's one of the most ridiculous things in a long line of ridiculous things that you said since I've been on your program. Let me tell you something. The issues that right now that are afflicting Puerto Rico have to do with the corruption between PREPA, the Puerto Rican Energy Power Authority, and local politicians, okay? They've reached out to the bond market and to banks to the tune of about $9 billion, promising improvements in the power grid, promising solar energy, wind energy, all of this leftist stuff that you guys love to talk about, and they've never materialized in any significant way. Now, yesterday, the governor of Puerto Rico went to Congress and stated that he'd like $94 billion. Apparently about $77 billion to cover Puerto Rico's debts, and another $17 billion to cover improvements to the power situation here. Right. They had the Whitefish contract. The Whitefish contract, they promised $300 million to this company that had 2 employees the day before they actually approved this work.
Right, this company out of Ryan Zinke's hometown. And why, you know, this is you know, there's 2 Republican connected companies, Whitefish out of Montana, and there's another company out of I think either Montana or Oklahoma that got another big contract, and again everybody's going, huh? And both those contracts have provisions in them that make it illegal for the government to audit the contract or the performance of the company. In fact, the Whitefish is charging over $300 per lineman, and they're paying them $63 an hour. This or close to it. I agree with you that corruption is a terrible thing, and I agree with you that corruption has been endemic in Puerto Rico, as it is in most poor places. You know, I would say that you've got...
In most democratically ran cities in America, yes.
Well, if you want to say that, I would say that the Republican cities are, you know, run cities have corruption too. It's just a very different kind of corruption, generally
really
speaking.
It's
generally not corruption that works.
And they generally spend way less money than democratically run cities like Detroit, New York City. Come on, the list goes on and on, Tom. You know this.
No, I don't. I'm acknowledging that corruption is a problem, Julio. So what? But back to the original point here.
Okay.
Houston, Dallas is getting piles of federal money. Florida getting piles of federal money. No questions asked. I mean, states of emergency, all kinds of stuff. Thousands of linemen in Florida. What, you got a couple of dozen in Puerto Rico? I mean, what's the deal?
Listen,
why is the federal government...
Listen, I have no problem...
And why, Julio, if your mother's home has lost electricity, why do you think that it's some sort of leftist plot to try to put solar panels on her house so she doesn't have to depend on a corrupt PREPA?
Well, listen, at the end of the day, PREPA has already kind of made their own reputation. What we need, and I'm not saying that Puerto Rico shouldn't get billions of dollars in federal funding. They should. But the way that they should do it should be under federal oversight. And I'm a conservative. I'm the last person that would ever suggest that Washington, D.C. should have oversight over local government, because I think the local government always does the job better than a centralized federal government. But the corruption is so rampant in Puerto Rico that it is time for Washington, D.C. to put together a committee of people to come here and oversee the restoration of power services in Puerto Rico. The governor of Puerto Rico lied yesterday. He said that by today, 50% of the island would have service. That's a lie.
Yeah.
Last week, Puerto Rico was up to about 42% electric.
I think it was more of a statement of hope. But Julio, there's a simple solution for this. I mean, Hawaii, before it became a state, was incredibly corrupt. It was basically a one-company state. It was run by Dole, as I recall, Pineapple and whatnot. And it was insanely corrupt. And once Hawaii became a state, or at least this is my recollection from the 50s when it happened, I was a little kid, but I remember this argument being made. Once it became a state, it was subject to the rule, essentially the rule of law in the United States, which punishes corruption pretty severely. Why not simply make Puerto Rico a state?
You know what? I actually am not necessarily an opponent of that. The only issue is, you know, there's a lot of people. You know what's funny? When you talk about people punish conservatives and Trump supporters for their nationalism, but then again, Puerto Rico is very nationalistic. Right. People in this country are very proud to be Puerto Rico. But Puerto Rico has voted, as I am.
Puerto Rico has voted 2 or 3 times in my lifetime anyway to become a state. Have they not? Am I misremembering this?
They have, but then you have to also consider the financial implications, because, listen, this falls ultimately on the American taxpayer. And even though my heritage is from Puerto Rico, I have to take consideration for the American taxpayer, because I am an American.
Well, I appreciate your concern for me, Julio, as a taxpayer.
Of course,
but here's my take on that. George W. Bush lied us into a war in Iraq that's costing us about $2 trillion, lied us into a war in Afghanistan that's going to cost us at least $1 trillion.
Well, not Afghanistan, but
and let's say that the most it would cost Puerto Rico to become a state, the most it would cost us to wipe out Puerto Rico's debt, clean up clean it all. Let's say $100 billion. You know, yesterday your governor asked for almost $100 billion. Let's say it's $200 billion. I think it's more important to clean up Puerto Rico and bring it into the fold of the United States, or grant it complete independence, one or the other. And I think most Puerto Ricans would prefer the former. But I think that's more important than fighting another war in the Middle East. How about you?
Of course. I mean, there's no actual export that would come out of Puerto Rico that would actually support it financially. Let's be honest. Sugarcane is not going to cover our debt, and it's not going to cover the cost of Puerto Rico going forward. A statehood would be great. I wouldn't mind being the 51st state, honestly, to be honest with you.
But your Republican Party is totally opposed to that, because Puerto Rico will be 2 more Democratic senators, at least 1 more member, probably 2, of the Democratic House of Representatives.
Man. Listen, if the truth comes out, the problem is the Democrats have been lying to the Puerto Ricans, just like they've been lying to the blacks and the Hispanics in the minority cities, in the ghettos, in America for the last 50 years since the Great Society. This is all LBJ's horrific design that we're suffering.
So Medicare and Medicaid are lies? The Civil Rights Act was a lie?
Listen, let me tell you something about
the Voting Rights Act was a lie?
People used to live until they were 63, 64 years old, back when they came up with Medicare and back when they came up with Social Security. Now people are living into their late 70s.
No, that's not true, Julio. I mean, people are living into their late 70s, but the average lifespan of Americans hasn't changed by more than about 2 years in at least the last 40 years.
No, that is a patent lie.
It's not. I'm an old guy. I pay attention to this. You know?
Well, I don't know what you're reading. Maybe you're reading what
I'm reading the statistics from the CDC. But in any case, I think we're arguing over minutia here. But Julio Rivera, editorial director of Reactionary Times, columnist with Newsmax, Right Wing News and Politichicks, reactionarytimes.com. Oh yeah, it's Julio is his Twitter handle. Julio, thank you.
Thank you so much.
And say hi to your mom for us, would you?
I will, as always.